Greetings. This is Doc Ock coming to you live and direct from Black Facts Headquarters Central this evening. We hope everybody's feeling real fine. We apologize for running late tonight, but we had a prior engagement that took us a little bit longer. It went overtime. Put it that way. Engagement went overtime. So we're here now, and we hope that you all are able to tune in at this time and that we're not too late. But if we are, you can always catch us on the rebound tomorrow night or during the day even, if you like. So let's go ahead and get it on because I'm hungry, and I'm going to go upstairs to get me something to eat as soon as we get done here. Don't forget to do the needful. Go ahead and give us a like and a thumbs up. We're coming to you on YouTube and Facebook right now, hitting on 3 out of 4 cylinders at least. And don't forget to go ahead and subscribe when you're done, and then invite all your friends and your family. Have them subscribe too, so you can share the joy. Don't hog it all to yourself. That would just be selfish. All right, now let's see here. What proverb do we have for you tonight? Usitupe jongo namtiwaki. Usitupe jongo namtiwake. Namtiwake. And that means don't throw a centipede together with its stick. Don't throw away a centipede together with its stick. So in other words, for some reason you had a centipede on a stick. I'm not really sure why, but don't throw both of them away together. Some people like to interpret that as don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. And that's a whole nother story. We could go into a whole explanation on why that is, but we'll suffice it to say, don't throw one out. Don't throw good money after bad. How about that? Don't throw good money after bad. Yeah, don't throw good money after bad. And, you know, we're going to read some more from our story. And the story of the month is the story of Ona Judge, an enslaved African woman who escapes from the clutches of George and Martha Washington. From George and Martha Washington. So let's see, where'd the book go? Here we go. Right over here. Never Caught, the story of Ona Judge, Young Readers Edition. That's right, we're reading from the children's section. Sometimes the children's books, they just give you the main story. They're not going to give you all the details, but they give us enough to have a good idea of what's being dealt with here. Okay? And here we go. The Nancy. That's Nancy, bent to the side, italicized. Based on a receipt for his chimney sweeping services, Richard Allen was in the president's house in March of 1796. Ona would have made contact with him during one of his visits, maybe signaling to him, psst, that she wanted to talk. Come on over here. Need to talk to you for a minute. Perhaps they moved behind a staircase, or maybe she dusted a fireplace mantle as he knelt down to the iron grate holding the ashes. It would have taken just a few minutes for Ona to ask him for help. Richard Allen would have kept his answer short but sweet, probably just nodding. Ona would have moved quickly away from the fireplace. She was scared, of course, but she was hopeful. On May 10, 1796, it is likely that Ona left the president's house to complete a few errands, including the purchase of a new pair of shoes. She would have to walk only 5 blocks from Market Street to Spruce Street to find the shoemaker she most wanted to visit, Richard Allen, the shoe cobbler. Remember? His other job. We can't know for certain whether Richard Allen and Ona talked about an escape because there's no proof of the conversation. There were no voice recorders back then, no cell phone recorders, none of that. But it would be really surprising if they didn't. Richard Allen was an ex-slave himself. He would understand what it would mean to help a scared but brave enslaved woman. He would understand too that if Ona were to flee, it would be a bigger deal than the escape of other runaways. It was not often that anyone, let alone an enslaved woman, took on the famed military hero, the first president of the United States of America, George Washington. Oh no, they didn't usually take him on like that. May 10th was a Tuesday. If Ona had figured out a plan with Richard Allen to escape, she would have learned that she needed to wait for an appropriate ship with an obliging ship captain in order to successfully flee Philadelphia. Perhaps there was a way for Richard Allen to get messages to Ona, telling her on what day she needed to be ready. Or perhaps there was a network of free black men and women who managed to pass bits of information, important information, to Ona without anyone else knowing. No matter. However it went down, it went down. Ona had to calm her nerves and raise no suspicion as she packed for the upcoming summer trip to Mount Vernon. As if she were really going to take that journey. Ona already knew she was not going anywhere near Virginia. As she later recalled, I knew that if I went back to Virginia, I should never get my liberty back to the old, what's the name of that one? I forget the name of that song. It's one of them Swanee River type songs. She knew she wasn't going back though. She had to go black. She couldn't go back. Although the president and his wife possessed more slaves and servants than did most slave owners and northern residents, Ona was the person who needed to be available to them around the clock. But working for Martha for so long had its advantages. Ona knew the routine of the household. There was one part of each day when Ona did not have to be present: dinner. Hercules and his kitchen staff were in charge of most things related to food. When the food was on the table, one of the waiters, not Ona, would bring seconds or refill wine glasses or pick up the dirty plates. This was Ona's window of opportunity. Did Ona tell Hercules about her plans? We don't know. But if she did, he may have deliberately served the president's favorite food, salted fish. The best case scenario for Ona would be that George and Martha would linger over their meal, perhaps asking for seconds. This would give Ona a much needed head start. On Saturday, May 21st, 1796, 11 days after she brought back new shoes, the Washingtons sat down in their first floor dining room. Their dinner was served. That's right, Hercules served it up on a platter to them. Ona may have cast her eyes around, taking in every last part of the president's house. Maybe she met eyes with Hercules in the kitchen. Or maybe she just turned and walked out. As soon as she was outside, Ona would have followed the orders she'd received from the free black friends who were brave enough to help her out. Walk east 5 blocks straight to the Philadelphia shipyard. Wear the coarse, modest clothes of free black women, not the brighter gowns allowed for the slave of the president. Keep your eyes straight ahead. Pull your bag close to your body. Look for a ship with a single sail. It will be the one loading a bunch of saddles and potatoes. The ship's name was the Nancy. That's right, Fancy Nancy. Though Ona would not have been able to read it, and the captain's name was John Bowles, Ona was given one rule: never say his name aloud. John Bowles was not publicly known as someone who fought against slavery. His name did not appear on the list of prominent New England abolitionists, nor was he mentioned when people talked about the anti-slavery activists fighting against Southern and Northern slave owners. He ran his shipping business with a partner, Thomas Lee, and had been traveling up and down the East Coast transporting various goods for years. In early May 1796, the Portsmouth Customs House in New Hampshire cleared the Nancy's voyage to Philly. Most likely, Bowles sailed directly there, a trip that would have taken 4 to 5 days. The Philadelphia Gazette announced Bowles' arrival in the city on May 10, the very same day that Ona bought new shoes. For almost 2 weeks, Bowles advertised his goods for sale and offered room on his ship to anyone who wanted to travel to New Hampshire. Eventually, Bowles loaded molasses, coffee, potatoes, boots, bridles, saddles, and candles onto his ship. He also allowed Ona Judge to walk on board. It's possible that Ona's elegant attitude led Bowles to believe she was a free woman instead of a slave. More likely is that he had been expecting her. It was strange for a young woman at that time, white or black, to travel without a chaperone. If he had believed that she was a free woman traveling, he would probably have stopped and questioned her, but he didn't. Whether he'd been contacted in advance by someone working on her behalf, or whether he just recognized the desperate spirit, Captain Bowles turned a blind eye to Ona. Pounding heart, terrified spirit, Ona counted the seconds until she could feel the ship lurch on the water. Finally, untied from the dock, she probably spent her time on the ship reviewing the words of her allies. Someone will meet you when the ship docks. Do not ever say John Bowles' name. We can't tell you where you're going. For your sake, if you do get caught, you can't get anyone in trouble. Keep your mouth shut and your head down and pray. It's hard to even imagine when she let herself take her first deep breath of freedom. Perhaps it was up on the deck as the Delaware River merged into the Atlantic Ocean. The Nancy was a small ship, eclipsed by the larger boats pushing their wares up and down the coastline. Some of those ships contained Africans chained together, just as described in Matthew Carey's broadside. Other ships carried sugar and tobacco from the Americas over to Europe. As the ships crisscrossed, the Nancy sailed northward. Ona, the American-born slave to President George Washington, had leaped boldly into the next phase of her life. It wasn't easy. The crashing waves of the Atlantic hurled saddles and candles from one side of the storage hold to another. The smell of molasses and coffee was thick. The combination of odors and the rocking sea were overpowering. The Nancy was not a luxury vessel. It was an older, uninspected ship with torn sails and weathered wood, hoping to make it to the next port without incident. Space was minimal. Travelers slept wherever there was some room. When the ship tilted or water crashed over the sides, Ona must have felt sick, but it's not as sick as when she tried to prepare herself for the new set of monsters that would be waiting for her after the Washingtons discovered that she had escaped. Slave catchers. Ona would have to stay on her guard. That's right. Slave catchers. And so that's the end of chapter 17. We'll come back tomorrow with chapter 18. We're getting close to the end. I forget how many chapters are in this book. Let me see if it tells you here in the beginning just how many chapters are in this doggone book. I don't think it does. Oh, it does. Okay, I see 15. Okay, 26. So we've got another 3, 6, 9. We got 9 chapters to go. We got just enough time to finish this book off. I do believe we can finish this book by the end of the month. At least that's what I'm hoping. And if we don't, we'll get pretty close. At least we got to the part where Ona finally, we've been waiting for this part, where she finally escapes. So, without any further ado, we're going to go ahead and close this session out. So, all you little children need to lay your little heads on your little pillows, on your little beds, close your eyes, and wait for that sun to rise. And when you feel those sunbeams beaming down on your eyes, feel free to go ahead and rise and shine and greet the new day as if it's being done in a whole new way, like you didn't just do it today. And for all you adults, what I need you to do is to go ahead, give us a like or a thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube, and then go ahead and subscribe to the Tubular Black Facts channel. Tubular Black Facts. That's right. We're not boobular, we're tubular. And tomorrow we'll be black with continuing the story of two passengers on the Pearl. Another group of slaves. This time, instead of just one, it'll be 70. 70 people trying to escape the clutches of their masters in the nation's capital, Washington, D.C., the slave capital of the world. That's what we should title it. Washington, D.C., slave capital of the world, because that's how it was known worldwide for the entire period that slavery existed. Well, from the time of its creation until the time that slavery ended, Washington, D.C. was known as the slave capital of the world. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and close this out. We'll see y'all tomorrow without any sorrow at noon. We'll be black, be here, as opposed to there, if you want to be on the square. Peace out now.